Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another motivational video of building a house here in Ghana. If it is your first time here on the channel, my name is Gigo, and today we will be looking at another decking work, done by Efo and his team. So today's video is going to be focusing on the wooden work for this three-bedroom detached house right here in Tema Community 25. And as you know, on Gigo Production Group, we are easy and flexible to work with anybody and everybody, right? So we have one of our subscribers who is building this beautiful detached house. I think it is an investment project. So he contacted AFO, to come and look at the decking for her. So here you have, AFO and his team buying some of the materials, which is the wood and the bamboo needed for the project. If you also have your decking and, we all understand, construction is very expensive, especially if you have a decking or you want to have a multiple floors. Buying those wood and iron rods can be a little bit of a challenge, and not even talking about the cement needed, sand and stones for the concrete. So we try our best to come up with a system or a plan that will help you, build that dream house easily. And I mean, we are all different people, so we do it based by, your means and what you can afford or not. So, in this case, you have to get in touch with the team so that we know how best we can help, everyone, because we don't have just one system for everybody. It is all based on, what your strength, what you can do, and we come in. And if you've been following us for some time now, I think that you know most of this, tips and ideas that I do share here on the channel, right? So, if you are also building your house and you need any artisans or you lack any artisans from your team, for example, with this particular project, this lady has her own builder, right? He has her own mason who is doing the project, but then she needs a carpenter and a steel bender, and she decided to use Gigo Production Group for this particular project. So that is why we are here to help working hand to hand with her team, right? So this is what makes Gigo Production Group, unique. Like I said, we can work with anybody and everybody. We like to learn and educate also. I mean, we believe we will be growing, so we would need a lot of people. So when we come to your side and we see that your workers are also good, I mean, we tap them into our team, and then when we have a project, we can also ask for their assistance, right? So most of this, projects that we take over or we go to work with, other artisans, most of them live around the community, and by the time we will be done with our work there, we always get, new contract in that area. So it is also best that since they are also living around, we also try to extend some of our, projects and I mean with them. So we work together and, together we create a bigger team. So that has been my motive. It is not just about me and my group. It is about everywhere we go, we try to, get people on board. And we believe that with this motive, we will be able to at least, convince people that honesty and trust is key, right? I mean, these days, especially in Ghana or Africa, you don't need so much qualification to be rich, right? If you are just honest, just you being honest is everything. You can just get rich by just being honest. If people pay for your service and you are honest to people, you can easily, get rich, right? I mean, back in the days where you have to get, degree, certificate, work experience and all that, It seems like the world has shifted to the point where just being honest alone can just get you anything that you want in this life. Just being honest. That's just by the way. So let's get back to today's video. Like I said earlier on, this is going to be a three-bedroom house and it is a detached. So we have one bedroom downstairs, which I believe it is for guests. Comes with a living room and a kitchen, spacious kitchen and living room. Then the upstairs, which is where we are constructing the decking now, right? The woodwork, carpentry work for the decking will have only two bedrooms, right? So all of this space you see is just a two-bedroom, but you see it to be large because, like I said, it is a detached house. So this is two house, right? Joined together. And this is something that, that's something I have learned recently. If you have a plot of land and you are building in a community like this where most of the land are being sold or most of the land is getting finished, you have to think of putting up an investment deal because it is a developed area and most people wants to live around. So putting up apartment or something like uh, a rental property, I mean, you can live in one and then you sell or rent, the other part. Because one thing that we also don't pay attention to is maintenance, right? Maintenance, we only think about the construction, the building, but maintenance is something that we also have to think about, right? I mean, most of us that are living in the West that are building back home, we thinking that hey, when we are done with our house, we're going to move back home. But some of us, we don't plan of what we're going to do whilst we are home, right? I mean, most of us wants to go when we're on pension, but I believe that most pension pay is not that much to be using it to be doing maintenance whilst you are staying there. So some of these things should come into our mind, right? I mean, you can build uh, also a store. You can have a store, attached to your house. You don't immediately have to get it done, but it has to be in your plan. You have to leave space for it. So when you move back and the place has been developed, you look around and you see what is missing in there, and then you can just tap in and place that. So that is the steel bender and brother Sammy, who is the engineer, on this channel. They are there to monitor and see what is happening, and immediately if it is done, Ni, who is the steel bender, and his team goes to take over. And this is something I've been sharing. If you are working with us, you don't need to get a hustle of looking for a steel bender and trying to make a deal with them and all that. I mean, you have the whole package. And brother Sami also, you know, making sure that things are done at the right way. He goes there. And if there's anything that pops out, like I said, if they come and they see any mistake, they will, get involved with Brother Sammy. And they will share it with you, right? They will tell you what the problem is. If you just want to go ahead with it, that is fine. If you want to make the changes, then you can come together and get it done, because some of these changes requires breaking of some of the blocks, which is also, cost, right? Because I mean, these blocks, I mean, one block is almost like 7 Ghana cedis, 50 cent, or 8 Ghana cedis. It is not cheap money, right? Just imagine you are breaking 10 blocks down. That is a lot of money, going for waste. So that's the plus that you will get with Gigo Production Group. So as I was saying earlier on, when we are building, we should think about, a way that we're going to make some money to keep up with the maintenance.
You don't want, you make busy where you don't get time to chop up. You do then they give you unnecessary pressure on food. Say, so that's it. So please now put your rope and see if it fell inside. You are done. Hola, huh? Va, la cabina. Okay, let it come from small. It's okay. Go back small. No, come from small. Let it be drawn. Draw it hard. My dear. Maybe. Okay, make it come from small. That be it. So mark them. So yeah, definitely. You see? So it will go the back because of the thickness of the thing. It will go back around. How do you call it? The 1 foot. 1 foot, yeah. So this, if we manage.
So that is Engineer Sami for you, helping up with FO with the staircase construction. So some of this, masons, when it comes to calculation, sometimes it is a little bit challenge. I mean, engineering calculation. You can lay the blocks any how height you want it, but it has to be with a certain elevation, right? And sometimes they don't calculate that in, and when we get to the lintel level or the decking phase, it becomes a challenge. You don't get the steps equally, right? So these are some of the challenges that sometimes FO and some of the steel benders they face on site, and then we always have to kind of get our engineer brother Sami in there to come and advise so that we get it right. And that's why you should always check, double check, and cross check. If you know you are building a multiple story building and you know that the people that you are using are not, the architects. Example, if the architect hasn't been on site during the construction, all right, or I mean the foundation, the block laying, the architect hasn't been there, I will advise that at least you get the architect to come around, right, to check all those things. Or even if you can get an engineer, right, to just come, just double check, cross check, and make sure that everything is right before you move to the next phase. Because if you go ahead to do any major work with concrete and you have to break it down or you have to break the blocks down, that is extra cost, right? Or you just have to accept with what they've done and move on with it. And that may also affect the design of the project, right? So if you really want what you design and you want it built right, please, at every stage or once in a while, just have an agreement with an engineer or the architect. And because the architect deals with the drawing, I mean, this is if you are not building with engineer, if you are just dealing with masons, carpenter, and steel benders, you need to get a professional, architect or engineer to just come and have a look and just make sure that everything is done before you move to the next phase. It may cost you some money to, get them on site, but I mean, it gives you that peace of mind for the future, right? And also later on, if you want to sell the house, because people will do come and check all those things, and because they want to bargain with the price, they will be looking for little faults and just for you to negotiate and so that they buy it at cheap price. So these are some of the things that you have to pay attention to. So talking about cheap price and looking at this community, if you are looking for land to buy around, Tema Community 25 Dawenya, right? Something that will be developed like this in the next 3 to 5 years. We have some plot of land going for sale. And like as I shared in my previous episode, you can just buy one plot, divide it into two, build on half, just like what this lady is doing. Leave the rest, for the future. And when you are done with your project, the place will be developed and you can decide to use it for an apartment or sell it, to complete your house, and that is investment for just doing nothing, for just waiting. You just buy the land and just wait, right? So, in our next episode, we will be focusing on the still works. So, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. And thanks for staying with me till this far. I really do appreciate your time spending on the channel. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in my next episode. Let's get to it.